my first day as a runner, I know you've heard this story so many times, Rob, but it's true.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, Roger used to like to have chicken sandwiches on brown bread at the end of the day he was filming. So one of my duties was to go and get the sandwiches from the restaurant, take it to Roger's dressing room. But I was so excited about seeing him that as the door opened, I dropped the sandwiches on the floor. And he just quickly that he was supposed to be watching his figure. And he was
bless
just
him.
a wonderful man. Wonderful
Yeah, he
man.
was. He was.
And then when you were out of earshot, he had you fired.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
I was never asked to do the sandwich run again. That was the only time I was asked to do the sandwich run.
Yeah, don't
That's
send
great.
Terry to Subway. So,
Man talk.
I think you probably know that sadly the seaplane that we wrecked when Bond arrives in the Bahamas was sadly we did the recce, we went home, and the following week that seaplane we were going to use crashed, and
Lord.
everybody on board was killed. And
Oh
we
my
had to use
God.
another. Yeah, that it was very tragic. Very good. Obviously,
Terrible.
we'd met the people. They were very, very kind people. So then, when we did get to shoot that sequence, I was put in a little boat with the harbour police, and for about an hour or so, I had complete control over Bahamas Harbour with Terry saying, "Right, that boat can't go there. That boat, we're ready to go. Let's bring it in." It's every day is a joy. Every day was a joy on that film.
Fantastic.
So
And of
Terry,
course, sorry, sir.
no, sorry to jump in. That's just I just want to get my head around that story. So the plane that Bond arrived in the Bahamas, there was a plane that you wrecked before that, and that had a crash.
That crashed, and I
What, like a day
believe that-
before or day?
No,
day
it was the week after we did the recce. So we weren't going to go back to film for another month or so.
Right.
But we just completed the tech recce. We'd seen the plane. Everybody, Martin liked the plane, and then the following week it was involved in a
Wow.
crash.
not
So we
heard
had
that
to use
story.
another seaplane. Yeah, but
Was it the same kind of plane that you ended up using?
Yeah, same
Right.
kind of plane. Same
Oh
kind
my
of
God.
plane.
So you'd be like, oh, fingers crossed this time.
Yeah.
Like
so
God.
well,
yeah.
that could it. I always and also although Vic Armstrong wasn't on Casino, Vic is very respectful of any kind of thing to do with aerial work or helicopter work. You know, because they are all dangerous, especially what we're asking the pilots to do and the sequences we're trying to get filmed. Yeah.
Even though you didn't like the fact that Bond died. What about the fact he had a daughter? Were you okay with that? Was that?
No, not really. I know. I think on one of the scripts I think we had for Quantum that again I think I'm allowed to say this, that we toyed with the idea, or the writers had toyed with the idea of there being a child from Vespa.
Really?
So, yeah, but I'm
Wow.
not sure if I'm not allowed to say that or not because of obviously
I think
my
I have read
NDAs.
that somewhere,
Yeah.
actually. I think that is out there.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's-
that's interesting that you've
Yeah,
confirmed
I think Rob just read your journal, Terry. That's where
that.
he's already leaked it to the press.
Oh,
No.
God.
No.
But and there's some great bits in Quantum. You know, there's some great bits in Quantum. But overall, I mean, for me, the Night at the Opera sequence is worthy of Hitchcock. You know, that whole build up and the use of the music. It's a fabulous.
Yeah.
And yet, I don't really like the ending because you've got Bond fighting somebody who's very small, and what's her name? The girl is having the big tough fight, and then it's all about explosions. It's over. I mean, it's so like David Arnold's music and what he brought to the films. So I would love it when they do get going, that David does get a chance to have another go at it.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Well, I think on Skyfall, I think everybody knows the thing that we had the gun that operates from his palm.
Yeah.
And then we accidentally
this.
shot it with gloves with gloves on, so we had to use the visual effects to make it put his hand back in there or something like that. I can't remember how we rectified it, but it's so difficult. You've got 5 or 6 units shooting stuff around the world. That's why a script supervisor team has to be work very closely with each other to make sure we keep those mistakes to a minimum.
So I heard about this. it's basically the fight scene, and he goes in and follows Patrice into the building. But because the gun is recognized to the hand and the handprint, he has to he can only shoot it with that. So he can't be wearing gloves.
Yep.
But because
Yep.
Daniel really liked these gloves, he's like, oh, I'm gonna wear these gloves for this scene because these gloves. And by the way, who doesn't like driving with gloves? I did that the other day for the first time. Wow. Either I've just entered middle age or I'm built to be a super spy. But yeah, so he had the gloves, and then like the amount of money I think it costs to edit out those gloves, because otherwise.
Well,